Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Annie, and you're here on my Flosstube channel, so welcome. This is Flosstube number 67, and I think I'm going to name it like something along the lines of 3 is the magic number, and I'm going to tell you about that in a short while. But yeah, this time I have cross-stitching and I actually brought my knitting and crochet. I will show you that at the end of the video. And we'll see how that's turning out. And I downloaded actually some pictures where the terms for knitting and crochet were in German and in English. So kind of a vocabulary list for the knitting and crochet terms because I only know them in German. I told you that at the end of my last video. Cross-stitching I learned over YouTube and Flosstube, and therefore only know it in English. If I talk to someone in real life about cross-stitching, we normally talk in German because I am German, as you might hear. But as soon as I go into cross-stitching and the terms for cross-stitching, I switch to English. So I have one friend, she's actually cross-stitching as well. And when we talk about cross-stitching, it's always changing between German and English because we both only know the English terms and not the German ones. So yeah, for knitting and crochet, it's the other way around. I learned it in German and therefore have my problems with the English terms. So I downloaded a vocabulary list and we'll see how that goes at the end of the video. But I'm going to start with my cross-stitching. So basically what I did stitch on last week and what I will stitch on this week and what I have already started to stitch on this week because again I'm a day late. Again I had a night shift on Sunday, therefore came back from work at 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and that means I need a lot of sleep and I have not a whole lot of time left for filming, and especially yesterday I did not even stitch during my night shift, which I normally always do, because during night shift there's not a whole lot to do. So I do have the time to stitch. And I normally enjoyed it really much because I can get a whole lot of progress in and actually get paid for it. So that's pretty cool. I mean, yes, I have to be, I have to look at my screen and I have to be alert and stuff, but yeah, with cross-stitching that's pretty cool, and that's possible. But yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, during the night shift on Sunday, I was so tired. I was not able to do anything. I don't know why. Normally I'm really happy about night shifts. I like them, but yeah, I was super tired, so with all my might, I just tried to stay alert and do nothing else because I was too tired to do something else. So yeah, not a whole lot of stitching, which was kind of sad, but that's the way it happens. So that was a lot of stuff before the video actually starts. Normally I don't tell you a lot in the beginning of the videos, just because I do not have a lot to talk to you about. This time it was a bit different, so let's get started. We're about 5 minutes in, so it's time. As always, I'm going to start with my travel stitching. Travel stitching at the moment is the Twisted Band Sampler by Lavender Expressions Needlework. This is what it's going to look like when it's done, and I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. I'm super happy with this one. Oops, sorry. Since you saw it last, I finished band number 6, which was this one in here, and this actually is my favorite band so far. With this project, you always, or with this pattern, you always have one cross-stitch band, then one band of specialty stitches, one cross-stitch band, and so on. So this one was a specialty stitches band, and it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed those specialty stitches. I had a lot of fun with those. It's kind of sad that I finished the band, but I'm now looking forward to the next cross-stitch band. I have already started it with the leftover thread I had of in here. So this cross stitching band is going to be one part in Aussie Gold. So that color I used a second color for this band, and then there's going to be a next color in here as well. And I did not look up which color that is. It's stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen with the called for dinky dies. There are 3 conversions in there, au revoir, dinky dies, and DMC. I decided to go for the dinky dies because I have never stitched with silk before and I wanted to try it and I love it. But Nina Hobbyside, she also has a Flosstube channel. She's stitching this one as well, and Sarah the Stitching Mommy as well, and they're both stitching it in DMC, and it looks really, really good in DMC as well. So if you want to try this pattern and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on silks, I can totally understand that. And as I said, they're stitching it both in silks. They both have Flosstube videos, so you can check those out. And it looks fabulous as well. I think Stitching Mommy, so Sarah, is a bit farther along than Nina Hobbyside, but I'm not completely sure about that. I know that Sarah is about, I think she has this band finished as well. So she is quite far along, and you can see the difference between mine and hers. So yeah, Needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I told you last time I'm probably going to change that one because the last one my needle always fell off. This one is a super strong needleminder, so it will stay on. Yeah, bring it up closer. This is my twisted band sampler. And I'm really happy. I reached the corner. Over here I reached the halfway point height-wise. So yeah. Now the bands are not getting any bigger anymore, just staying the same for quite some time. Okay, twisted band sampler. Oh, and I in the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group. If you have watched my videos for some time, you might know that. I did that 1.5 years ago or something like that, and now for 2021 I restarted. And so I did one challenge with the Twisted Band Sampler as well. I was supposed to stitch on a piece that's healing for you, and I said all those repetitive specialty stitches are super relaxing and therefore healing, and that's what I went with. This week, I do not have a challenge with this one. I am on vacation, which means I do not have a lot of shovel stitching time either, and therefore probably close to nothing or no progress on this one, which is fine. As I said, I'm on vacation. I do not have to work this week. But with full lockdown, you can't do a lot. I thought about going to my parents, but honestly, that would not have been the smartest move. I'm in the north of Germany, and the COVID numbers are not good, but they are okay. My parents live in the south of Germany, and the further south you go in Germany, the higher the COVID numbers go. So visiting my parents, yeah. Also at my parents, the regulations are stricter. So I would not have been able to visit any friends. I have to be home at, I think, 9, something like that. I mean, yes, I could have visited my parents or my grandparents, but also I do not want to risk anything. I still go to work. I still have to go grocery shopping and stuff. So I go out and I might catch it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm staying home, being on the safe side, and yeah, calling my parents a lot and my grandparents, and just not visiting. But yeah, that means I have a whole week at home with nothing to do. Maybe a lot of stitching. I'm hoping for it. Okay. So that was my travel stitching. Next, in 2021, I decided to go with one project every week and stitch on that project a little bit every day of the week. This week, my project was Lilac Fairy by Vavako. This is what it's going to look like when she's done, and she's beautiful. I show you a picture of what she looked like last time here. And here she is right now. So beautiful and a whole lot of progress. She's the reason for the name of the video, because every day I did 3 lengths of thread, and also I did 3 lengths of thread for the long stitches. So she stitched on a 14 count Lilac Ada, 2/1 full crosses, except for the background in here. That's stitched 1/1 full crosses, and therefore it gives it a nice 3D kind of texture. So that's pretty cool. The needleminder is from 123 Stitch, and I concentrated a lot on her wings. So I actually finished the upper part of that wing. There's a bit more down here for the wing, and down here in those yellowish colors. Also between her arm and her body, there's a part of the wing, so I have to finish that. And I will use her for one challenge this week. I think I used her for one challenge last week as well. So okay, I have to look it up. If I look down, that's because my cell phone's lying down there and I'm looking up what actually happened last week because I can't remember. Yeah, I stitched on her last week for a design that has a secret within. And the secret within her is that the backstitch is a pain. I can bring her a bit closer. I don't know if you can see it, but those backstitch lines, they never go according to the Ada square. So the same goes for those long stitches, and will be the same for her hand and everything down here in the dress. So far that I actually think about leaving those pieces in her dress out, because it's really a pain to backstitch this design. So yeah, I did one challenge on her, and with those 3 lengths of thread every day, I actually managed close to 900 stitches, plus all the long stitches. So yeah, really happy with her. I will stitch on her for one challenge this week as well, which means 250 stitches. And the challenge is stitch on something that seemed good and in fact is evil. Yeah, as I said, backstitching. I normally don't have a problem with backstitching. I actually enjoy it because it really brings the pieces to life. With her, that's different. But yeah, here she goes. So 250 stitches, I'm probably going to concentrate on her arm and the part of her wing. And if I have some stitches left, I might go into her dress, because that will bring me, or that will, means I will be able to do the missing long stitches on the wing sometime when I have finished all those parts that are connecting to those long stitches. So yeah, she's beautiful. I love her wings. They look amazing. And she's now at about 50% done, I think. And I want to finish her this year, so that's okay. I think I will be able to do that. Yeah, Lilac Fairy. That's her. And then there was another challenge. 2 are missing, I think. Yes, 2 challenges are missing. One was stitch on something with rope. And I went with Norwegian Ship and the Sail, the small edition by Golden Cake. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And on this ship, there are a whole lot of ropes. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I stitched in this column over here. I had hoped to finish the column, but it's so confetti heavy that I didn't. I nevertheless did a bit more than I was supposed to, so I did close to 450 stitches instead of 250, so that's fine. This is stitched on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. Needleminder is from Zenkai Designs, and I'm so happy that I have reached those sales. They do not look like a whole lot, but every time there was only one stitch of those colors up in here were needed down here, it came together a bit more, and I'm really looking forward to finish the column and move further along, because they will look amazing. I was super jealous last year. Sarah, Stitching Mommy, she's stitching on this design as well. She started in columns like I did, but sometime last year she decided to work her way all the way across the design and also moved a little bit into those sales. And I was so jealous because I was working on this page down here, which was my third page of just background. And she had started to get something of the ship done. And as I said, I was so jealous. I wanted to have that as well. But I didn't. And now I finally have something of the ship as well. And it does look amazing. I can't wait to get some more in there as well. If this week I finished all my challenges, I might come back to this one and fill in a few confetti stitches from time to time. As I said, it's so much confetti. Up in here, this part that's missing in here, those few stitches, there are 5 or 6 colors in there, so confetti heavy. So I will probably stitch on it from time to time a little bit. In my stitcher spot, I have a musician's stand where my pattern is on, where I can put my tablet on with pattern keeper and so on. And the pattern actually is still on there. If I use my tablet or another pattern, I just put it in front. Because I'm still hoping to get back to this one this week and actually finish the column. That would be pretty nice. So yeah, still on there, and I'm hoping to get back to this week to maybe finish the column. That would be really nice. But it's a whole lot of confetti stitches, so I'm not sure about that. It just would be nice. Okay, that's that one. And for the last challenge, I have to look it up. With this one, I actually knew it, but the last challenge, I have to look it up. Yeah, I was right. The last challenge was to stitch on something sharp and or pointy. And I said I'm going with Mini Katie and Cruncher by Have Enough Designs. The artwork is by Hannah Lynn because the teeth of the shark are sharp and pointy. So I showed a picture of what it looked like last time here. This is where I'm at right now. So last time we talked, I only had about 80 stitches missing, and I started to fill those in those confetti and or color stitches in here in this next column. And I did more than 80, but not a whole lot more. But yesterday I went back to this project because for this week I need a challenge, or I have a challenge to stitch on something black or white. And I said I'm going to go with black. So yesterday I basically finished all the confetti and color stitches in this column. So today or tomorrow, whenever I get to the challenge, I can just start filling in all the black and have my challenge done, because normally that should be around 500 stitches. Because this one is stitched on 25 count 2/1 10 stitch, and for 10 stitch I need 500 stitches. The needleminder is from Danka Designs, and yeah, this is Mini Katie and Cruncher. And last week I told you something along the lines of I need 2 or 3 more columns to finally reach her lashes. And yesterday I was wondering what is happening here, because normally those strands of hair just go through, and there they didn't. And I was super confused until I took a closer look on the chart. Those are her lashes. So I'm getting really close to her eye, which is amazing. Getting out of the hair and to her eye, that's amazing. So yeah, those are her lashes, and I'm super happy about that. Probably happier than I should be. But yeah, really looking forward to filling her in. As I said, probably tomorrow or something like that. Just filling in the column. And if I reach the 500 and have some of the column left, I'm probably just going to continue and just fill in the whole column with black. Yeah, that's her. And then I will have already done quite a lot for this year. I want to do about 9,000 stitches, and with the challenge I think I will have close to 1,500, so that's fine. I have finally reached the 10,000 stitch mark on this pattern, so I've done more than 10,000 stitches on this one, which is not a lot considering I think she has more than 80,000 stitches, but it's something. It's a start. So yeah, Mini Katie and Cruncher. I'm super happy about that project. It's so much fun. And I can't wait to continue on her. And I will do so today. So that's pretty nice. And the whole fabric fell, and therefore I have to roll it up now, which takes a little bit longer. Okay. And then, as I said, I'm a day late. Okay. On some project, a needle is missing because I found a needle. I'm a day late with stitching, so I already started my challenges and stuff yesterday, and I actually finished my first challenge, which was not planned. But this is the project I'm also using for this week to stitch on every day a little bit. I'm talking about Lavender Garden. This is by Rico Design up in here. And it's basically a tablecloth. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So last time you saw it, I had just finished this side of the tablecloth. And so yesterday, I moved the hoop, started with the next side, and decided to just go with the border and then move into the motifs down here. I started with the border yesterday, and then while stitching, I thought, well, just finish up that part of the border. Those threads are parked over here because as soon as I move the hoop, I'm going to continue stitching on the border. Just finish the border and leave it at that, and then I can see how many stitches I have done and move further along today. So I actually yesterday totally forgot to count my stitches to see where I'm at. So I did that this morning and realized I had done already 265 stitches instead of the 250 I need. The challenge was stitch on a piece you love that is a gift for someone else. As I want to gift this to my grandma, it's perfect. I stitch on it anyways, and yeah, as I said, already 265 stitches in this border, and my challenge is already done. Nevertheless, going to stitch on it every day of the week to hopefully make good progress. So I'm over here, so I stitched that part of the border. To finish those two motifs, that would be super cool, and maybe even move further along and start on those 4. That would be pretty cool. But we'll see about that. Yeah, going to stitch on it every day of the week. As I said, it's tablecloth, so down here is normal tablecloth fabric as well as in the middle. And in here is a strip of 14 count Ada. The needleminder is from Denkai Designs. Yeah, going to continue stitching on this one today for a little bit. Probably not a whole lot, but going to do a little bit. Okay, that's that one. And then, as I said, Mini Katie and Cruncher is going to be used for the challenge to stitch on something black. Lavender Garden is already done with the challenge to gift someone. And then I have 2 more challenges. One is stitch on a piece you can tie to one of the 7 deadly sins. Not going to read them all, but I'm going to stitch on Super Size Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. It's started by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Amy Stewart. And I said, with all those treasures down here by the dragon, you might feel greed. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to stitch on this one for 510 stitches. I'm up here in that corner and have no intention to move down here to stitch on that scene down there. But yeah, going to continue up in my corner. So I show you no, I don't have to show you a picture. I just show you where I'm at with this one. I've already done close to 1,000 stitches on this one. I will do another 500 for the challenge, and I only need 4,500 something for my year-end goal. So already done a lot during January. So this is where I'm at. It's stitched on 40 count 1/1 10 stitch needleminder is from Lakeside Needlecraft, and I have to look where I'm at. I'm down here in that square, so I'm going to continue this diagonal, which is not a whole lot left. Then here is the shelf, this shelf. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to move into the next diagonal that I will not completely do, but stop down here as well in the shelf, and just going to go along the top shelf. Yeah, so finishing that diagonal, starting up here, and looking forward to that, because I really love this piece. So can't wait to get some more progress in, especially because up in the top, I have reached those parts in here, so I'm moving into this tree, and not only sky anymore, so that's nice. Yeah, here we go. Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. As I said, really looking forward to stitch on that some more. And then, what was the last challenge? Mini Cane, Cruncher, Lavender Garden. Oh, and on Lilac Fairy, one challenge. Did I tell you what challenge that is? I don't think so. I did. Something evil. That seemed good, but it's evil with backstitch. So those are my 4 challenges. And then today I'm going to visit a friend. And therefore going to take my travel stitching, but I'm not going to stitch on Twisted Band Sampler because I will have a whole lot of time at hers. I will have the space to actually take a floss box and stuff. So I'm going to stitch on Mini Magic Mirror by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Anne Stokes. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I show you where I'm at. This is where I'm at with her. She stitched on 28 count Lugana 2/1 10 stitch. The needleminder is from Just Sue Heavenly. And yeah, going to pick colors from the right side of the page and do 1 length of thread and then choose the next one and moving further along. Not going to stitch the black yet. I'm going to wait till I have everything else finished on the page and then just fill in with black. So yeah, here she is. Looking forward to stitching a bit more on her because I had thought I will be stitching on her on Sunday during my night shift, but as I said, just did not happen. So therefore she has less progress than I would have liked or would have expected. So yeah, that's that. And then let's move into crochet and knitting. And I think I'm going to start with crochet. With crochet, I have a finish that I think I showed you. Talked about it. I think I talked about it last week. It was a triangle scarf that I had finished but was still being stretched. And it was a lace scarf. So I show you the finished piece. It's super big and super amazing. So this is the whole thing. As I said, it's super wide, super see-through, so it has to be stretched, otherwise there's no way it's coming together. But yeah, this is the whole thing. I have no idea what yarn I used. It's about two years since I started this, so I have no idea what yarn I used. I think it was a bit, or it was mostly alpaca, but I'm not sure. But yeah, this is this one. And I have the pattern I have out of a book. This is Lacehäkeln für Einsteiger, so it's a German one. The designer is Beatrice Simon. I think she is French, and she has a French and a German blog. And so here's the French blog, and this is the German one. If you're interested, it's the same one. No, there's a 2. For the German one, there's a 2. So yeah, she's the designer, and yeah, that's the piece I finished. I did not stitch it in the called for yarn, so I cannot look up what I did, but it's mostly, okay, I need my vocabulary list. It's mostly chain stitches and chain stitch and double crochet. I have no idea if that's the right term. That's what's on my list. So yeah, chain stitch and double crochet, and that's the whole thing. And I have started something else out of the same book. So the one I started, I have to try to not show you the pattern. So this is the one I started. Again, for this one I actually know what yarn I used. So in another color, but that's going to be the finished piece. Something along those lines. Also, this has to be stretched big time. So it's not going to look as impressive as it will as soon as it's stretched. But so far this is where I'm at. You're going to okay. You have to stitch a whole long thing, and then you sew it together. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So if I stretch it a little bit, that's about it. So also again, double crochet and chain stitches. The yarn is also from Rico Design, and it's called Creative Soft Wool Aran. Don't know, but there's somewhere on there what it actually is. So it's 75% acrylic and 25% wool. And yeah, I probably need 2 of those balls. At the moment I have, I think, 15 rows done, and I need a bit more than 90. So yeah, still a long way to go on that one. But I'm looking forward to it. So that's that one. I mostly do crochet and knitting when I sit in front of the TV in the evening and don't feel like stitching anymore and want to sit in my living room and not in my stitchy spot. So that's when I move to crochet and knitting. And yeah, that's my crochet at the moment. And I think it's my only crochet project at the moment I'm stitching on. There might be some somewhere. But yeah, that's what I'm presently stitching on. And as for knitting, I'm knitting a sweater that I'm going to show you, but I first have to find it. I did not prepare this. So this is the sweater I'm knitting. It's out of a book as well. The book is Love Wool. Again, it's German. It's by Rico Design, and it's the autumn-winter one, but there's no year on there, so it's the number 1. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, but I'm doing it in another color, but with the called for yarn. So I did not bring the yarn. I'm going to pause this video a second and tell you the yarn. Okay, this is the yarn, again by Rico Design. It's the Fashion Light Luxury, and basically it's 74% alpaca, 22% wool, and 4% nylon, and that's the color. It's not true to color. It's a bit more greenish and less blue than shows on camera, but yeah, that's that one. Front and back are both done, both the same, so yeah, they're both on here. I have finished those, and I have started with the first sleeve, so it's still on my needles. Yeah, that's the first sleeve, and basically I did the rib down here, and then I'm going to move upwards. So that's the next step, but I have not started with the increases yet. That's, as I said, going to be the next step. We'll see when I'm going to do that. I planned to do a little bit during night shift as well, and did not work out. So maybe today. Yeah, that's knitting. Knitting and crochet probably was all over the place. By any means, if I did say something wrong, if I used the wrong vocabulary, please let me know. As I said, I learned it in German. I have to look everything up. therefore, I'm quite sure I said some things wrong. At least it felt like I said some wrong things. So yeah, let me know if I did do something wrong or say something wrong, and tell me what is the right thing to say. I want to know and I want to learn, and I can only do that if you help me. So yeah, let me know. If you do not want to see knitting and crochet, feel free to switch off. I'm probably going to show you whenever I did something in my video at the end. So yeah, that's probably that. If I did not tell you anything about my knitting and crochet projects you want to know about, and I just did not tell you because I do not know any better, ask in the comments. I always answer my comments. I just normally take about a week or two to actually do so. Yeah, I think that's it. Again, not only for knitting and crochet, if you have questions about cross stitch as well, ask them. I will answer. But yeah, I hope I told you everything. As I said, for cross stitch, I kind of have plans what to do. Knitting and crochet is kind of like, we'll see what I feel like doing, if I feel like doing anything, and if I have the time. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope next week I'm actually back on Monday on my normal filming days, and I'm really, really hoping for that. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.